What's up guys, it's Oscar here, also Vultar. Today I'm bringing you a review of the HD PVR Rocket. If you didn't know, I am sponsored by Hauppauge, so I just want to say a massive thank you for Hauppauge for sending this unit out for me for a review. So just want to move on to the actual specs of this thing. What's really unique about it is the fact that it's got a USB connection, so you don't actually have to have a PC to be able to use this device, which is really great for people that want to go to a friend's house, to events, or you don't have your PC in the same room as you have your console, so you can literally plug your USB straight into this thing, press the button on the top, press record, you're good to go, and it will call straight onto that. Once you're done, press the button again, unplug it, go to your PC and do whatever you want to do. That's it. If you want to edit the footage, upload it straight to YouTube, whatever you want, it's good to go. I want to move straight on to the contents of this box. When you open the box, you'll be greeted by the instruction manuals. This basically entails and lets you know on how to plug it into various devices. So that will include the 360, the PS3, and both the PS4 and Xbox One. The new consoles, it'll work perfectly fine with. This will also record PC footage as well. So there you are. That's something you can consider. Underneath that, you'll be greeted with the relevant social media by Hauppauge. So that's the Facebook and YouTube. So you can have a look at that. Here also we get the USB to the connection of the units. So this is how it's powered. It's all powered through USB, which is a really nice feature. So you don't have to fiddle around with another adapter and plug it into a wall mount. This is exactly what you need. So this is just, it comes in the box and it will plug straight in. On one end will be two USBs, so it only requires one. So the red colour one is if you're plugging it into a console, and if you're plugging it into the PC for power or any other sort of power unit that requires a USB bit, you can just plug the black one in and it will work perfectly fine. It also comes with a AV to component, so if you're using a PS3, you can use that straight away. It's got the AV on that end and the components on that end, because on the unit it has the AV adapter, so it works straight from there. It also comes with the component again, but to a PS3, so this is a much thicker cable, and that's how you can plug it into there. There's various different cables, so all the sort of setups it'll work fine with. And lastly, it comes with the 2-meter Hdmi cable, which is perfect for the new consoles and both the old consoles as well, because you probably want to go with this for the best quality, because it's both uses the HDMI is both the video and sound. It's just easier just to have one sort of cable like this. It works perfectly fine. But also with this cable you can get 1080p footage, which I highly recommend. As you know, I'm a video editor. I like to use 720p because it's a higher frame rate. This device does record 30 FPS in 1080p and 60 FPS in 720p, which is both the same for the old Hauppauge and all the other sort of capture card devices. This is the same FPS it will record at. So moving on to the actual device itself, here it is. It's very small, very sleek looking. It's got a matte black finish at the top. It's got an LED around the outside, which gives you a status of what it's doing. So whether it's idle, recording, or it hasn't got a device in it, it hasn't got the cables in it, it will show you with various different coloured LEDs, whether it's flashing, solid. It will all be in the instruction manuals, very simple to follow. Now, on the top here, you can see it has the little red button here. So if you have your thumbstick in, that's how you control whether it's being recorded. If you don't have the thumbstick in, you don't use this, you use the software, which is free to download online, so that's how you do that. Now on top also, you can see we have the slider here, so if you plug your microphone in here, so if you want to do live commentaries at the same time, you can do this with this device. You just swipe your finger across here, and you can choose the volume of what your microphone will do. It also has a lock button on here as well, so say you accidentally sort of swipe past the unit, it won't adjust the volumes, because you can lock that settings or what you desire right there. It also has a mute button for your microphone as well. There's loads of different options for this device of how exactly you want your content to look like. Finally, it has at the top, it also has a plus 20 decibels, so if you want to boost the volume of your microphone, you can do so also. At the front of the device, you have the Hauppauge logo. You have a USB 2 and 3 supported device opening port here, which would be for the thumbstick if you want to do that. Next to that is the microphone port there. So as I said, you can do live commentaries. It's perfectly good for that. At the bottom of the device, there has the holes there for ventilation and 4 rubber feet here. So, you know, if you want to put it down on the surface, it won't move about because it's here to keep it secure and safe. At the back of the device itself, you have the HDMI in, the HDMI out, the AV in, which previously mentioned for the PS3, it has the cables there for that, you use that there. And the USB 5 volt, which is to charge the, to basically power the device there for there. Now, this device is really interesting to me because the reason why I wanted to go with Hauppauge themselves is because I've always used their products. When I started YouTube, I bought their first recording device, and it worked really, really well. This thing is exactly the same as that, you know. I mean, it has so much more features, and it's tiny. As I said, it's literally 130 grams. That's a fifth of the weight of a standard bag of sugar. It's that light. So it's really nice if you have your setup, you don't want to use much room, then there you are. You know, you don't have to use much room to be able to record. I really like this device because it records in 13.5 megabits per second, which is perfectly fine when recording and doing editing. It's really, really great quality, but I will show you a preview of some footage that I've recorded for you. As for editing, it does come with the software, as I said, so you can record onto your PC, and it has a editing software on there, and I'll show you that as well. So that's pretty much it for the device. Overall, I really, really like it. I mean, it's just so unique to any other thing that's on the market, and as the main selling point to me is just the fact that you can plug a USB in. That is awesome. I mean, it can support up to 32 gigabytes, and that's like about 8 hours of gameplay, depending on what you do. You know, you don't need to do 8 hours. I mean, if you want to do it, there you are. There's your option. But you can use so much. I mean, USB is so cheap to buy nowadays. You can buy loads and loads of USB sticks if that's what you want to do. Plug it into here, and you're good to go. Let's move on to the editing software itself, and I'll show you how you use that and what it's sort of like. Alright guys, so here is the official Hauppauge Capture software. When you first buy your product, you want to plug it into your PC, and it'll say it's installing drivers at the bottom there. But just ignore that. What you want to do is you want to go on their official website, download the software, and when you're installing it, not only will it install the software, it'll install the latest drivers, which is what you make sure you get that to your device. As you can see at the top here, this is the latest firmware for the time that I'm making this review. And at the bottom here, you know, it's 25th0314. So just bear this in mind when you're watching this review. You may have a newer software than me that might look different, but this is the review for the current time. I'm going to give you a quick overview. So at the bottom here, you can see you can change the volume at the software. You can choose to mute it if you wish. At the bottom here, there's a really nice functionality called a snapshot. Say if you don't want to actually record a video, but you just want to snapshot what this looks like, you can just press this button here, and it will take a little snapshot and save it to a directory that you can choose, and I'll show you where that is in a second. At the bottom here, it automatically detects the input resolution. I chose on my Xbox for a 720p, so you can see it's a 1080 by 720p recording, or a capability of recording at 60 FPS, which is right. We have at the top here the drop-down menu of the various devices that are plugged in. So say if you have multiple different Hauppauge products plugged into your PC, it will come up with a list of different products that you have here. But since I only have the Rocket plugged in, it will only say I've got the Rocket. Below that is the record button. On the device, you know, I previously showed you there was the red record button. That won't work with it when it's plugged into the PC. You do it manually on here. It's very simple. You know, you sort of do is press that when you want to record, and press it again to stop recording, and it will automatically render and save it out where you chose. Below that is the file name. You can choose to change that, but I just leave it as the default, and that's fine for me. The video input, I highly recommend HDMI because you will get the better quality. You know, for people that want to do commentaries, I would recommend you do the 1080p. It does record at 30 FPS, but that's perfectly fine, to be honest. You don't really need the frame rate. 30 FPS is perfectly viewable. For me, I'd like to trade off a slightly worse quality, although it's very, very difficult to see the difference for basically double the FPS. It just makes it easier when you want to add effects and things like that in editing softwares. But that's all detected automatically. You can change it here. Below that is the microphone input. So on the device is the little microphone input slot, so it will automatically detect that here. It's automatically defaulted at the voice being higher than the gain volume, which is what you guys want. You don't want the voice to be drowned out by the gain, so that's great. But if you do want to change it, then obviously there you are, you've got an option there, and you can press that button there to mute the mic if you do so. Below that is the video quality. Now say if you don't really have much space on your computer, you can drag this down. You know, you can trade off a worse quality, but for a less space intensive video, you know, it's now that I've let go, it's actually changing it off to a 5.5 megabits per second. I do choose to have the highest megabits per second, which is 18, which is really great, and it's a consistent 18 megabits per second. You can choose variable, but I'd highly recommend choosing consistent for the best quality. Going into the advanced, we have a video scaler. Now, if you're not really into your PCs, I really wouldn't worry about this. It's really unnecessary to go into, but it gives you the option if you want to change that. Same again with this. If you want to mess around with the brightness, contrast and saturation and hue straight from this software, you can do so, but personally for me, when I'm making color corrections and things, I just do it straight onto the editing software. We have the audio bitrate. You can control all this sort of stuff. I just leave it as default. The firmware, this just shows the latest firmware that you have, and you can update it, but this is the latest one, so that's fine. Now, this is the HDCP, and if you don't know what this is, I'll give you a quick overview. When you want to view something on the Xbox One, for instance, as an example, if you want to watch a film, it won't let you do it because it detects that there's a third party between the HDMIs. Now what that means is it detects that there's a recording device. It won't let you record movies for obvious reasons, for legal reasons, because they don't want you to share that sort of paid content for free. Now what this enables you to do is it'll enable you to watch it, right? So it'll pass through that, but it won't let you to record it. So that's a really nice feature, because rather than the Xbox One saying there's an error or the screen will just go black, it'll allow you to watch it. So that's a really nice feature. Now moving on to the edit tab, if you're someone that's not really into the editing and you don't really know how to do it, this is a great way to start off. You know, it has a full listing of all your recordings. You can export it as well. You can cut it, preview it, everything. This is really perfect for someone that just wants to do a simple video and upload it. Moving on to that, there you are. The YouTube is straight onto there. You can upload exactly what you've just been made onto your YouTube channel. Perfect. Lastly, we have the settings tab. Now this is where you can choose your directory. So this is where you want to choose where the recordings are saved. I like to have my saved recordings on a separate hard drive, so I chose that on the browse. Same with the snapshot. I chose to do that on my other hard drive, on my primary hard drive. That's where my snapshots save. I don't really tend to use snapshots, but if you do want to use it, then you can choose it and that's good to go. Lastly, we have the hardware acceleration. I wouldn't mess with that. I mean, that's a good thing to have enabled. I just leave that as it is. So that's really it, guys. That's the overview of the software. I am going to move on to show you a bit more of the gameplay. I'm going to record it and I'm going to show you the raw footage with a little bit of a voiceover. I hope you guys enjoyed this section. If you have any questions about this software or anything you see in this video, feel free to comment below. Now I'll move on and show you some of the gameplay. So here we are. This is the sort of expected quality that you're going to see from your Rocket. This is straight from the recording capture device. I've done nothing whatsoever to this in the editing software. This is the raw footage. This is what you're going to expect from the device. The device itself is reasonably priced. If you want to check it out in the description, I'll leave an Amazon link so you can decide for yourself whether you want to purchase one yourself. Lastly, I just want to say a massive thank you once again to Hauppauge for sending this out for me. It's been really good fun doing this review. It did take a while to do this video, so if you'd like to leave a like if you enjoyed this video and found it insightful, then you might as well just leave a like and comment, and it really does help me out, so I would appreciate it. As for future videos, I don't really do review videos. This is actually the first one I've done, so if there's something that you'd like to see more in the future, I'll be more than happy to do so. It's really good fun to do. Lastly, yeah, that's pretty much it. So this, as you can see, this is the footage you can expect, and that's pretty much it. Bye.